I just don't think you can count on him. If you get anything out of Jack Flaherty, it's great. It's gravy. I just think at this point, I don't know what we can count on. However, if he comes back, he's got elite stuff. If he's right, he still has the best stuff on the team. I know he hasn't shown that a lot.
I agree with you.
But when he's right, he has the best stuff on the team. And let's be real, you're not exactly loving what you're seeing from Dakota Hudson each time out, and they want to manage Andre Palante's innings. So there is a spot for him a month from now if he's right.
What do you think, Nate?
I guess I'm more aligned with Charlie, but
You're more negative, so you're like, no way, we don't want it.
no, I mean, I don't know. It's hard to get hyped up over a pitcher who hasn't been able to stay healthy. And I feel like this year in particular, there's been several occasions of that where a guy comes back and you think, oh, wow, this could really be a nice shot in the arm for the team. But then it doesn't work out. If he's healthy, that's great. But let's cross that bridge when we need to, because speculation at this point is just...
No, but I mean, they are facts. He threw a bullpen, that's a fact, and he's going out in the rehab soon, that's a fact, which guys go out in rehabs usually means that they're going to be returning at some point.
He wants to pitch?
He does want to pitch.
That's good.
I know. Trust me.
I watch him, and it just seems like he's like a little bored out there or something.
Okay,
There's not enough going on.
Why do you think he came back ahead of where he was supposed to be rehabbing last time? Because he wanted to pitch. He wanted to help his team. Like, I get it. I think questions about whether or not he'll ever be what we think he can be, which we've seen a lot of, not as much as we'd hoped. Will he be that again? That's a legitimate question. But to act like he doesn't care, I think is wrong. Last time, he pushed them to bring him back ahead of, they wanted another rehab start, didn't work out. He wasn't good. They put him back out there again because he wanted to pitch. I don't think you can question, I mean, you're allowed to, but I don't think it's correct to question whether or not he wants to pitch. Fine to question whether or not he can stay healthy. I'm going to ask Seth that too. Like, to me, with Flaherty, I agree with Charlie. If he's healthy, he's got the best stuff on the staff, and that's a plus. He also has swing and miss stuff, which they don't have a ton of in the rotation, which is a big help too. The question is, what can you count on?
I think he's obviously a bonus if we get him, but we've adjusted well without him. We've shown that we can hang with any team even when he's hurt. So if we get him, great. If he's hurt, we'll move on and we'll continue to play the way that we've been playing.
Now, when you say we,
the Cardinals.
You work? Oh,
yeah. What are you, a rights holder?
We.
It's my team, man.
The show?
It's my team.
What are we
I'm
doing?
in the office.
Where are we going?
Why
don't you think he wants to pitch though, Nate? Like, what does that mean?
He was talking about body language.
I just think
he's an activist.
He is. He wants to. He's got a lot of other things in his life going on that he seems to be extremely focused on.
Okay.
Just being a progressive activist, and I'm sure he wants to go participate in like some climate protests now. That
can't you get past that? Like,
no, I can't
you understand
get past
that a guy has different beliefs than you that probably have zero impact.
I'm surprised he didn't put out a Jack Flaherty statement on the fact that Nolan Arenado and Paulie Goldschmidt couldn't go to Toronto. I was waiting for his tweet.
I was kind of waiting on that too,
because he thinks everybody's a joke when they don't align with him.
But not those two guys
politically. Yeah,
that'd have been a rough one to do.
That would have been
those two
fascinating.
monsters, man.
I wish that you could look past some of that, and then
I
think
can't.
hear me out. You're really smart. I also think you know baseball. You're a young guy, but I think you're with baseball. You have some wisdom beyond your years. But to act like because you don't like Flaherty because of his activism, and that translates into a guy who doesn't care if he's good or not on the mound, is beneath you. You're too smart for that, and I wish you'd see that.
Thank you, Jimmy. I do have some news, though.
He's like, I'm not listening to you, fathead.
Thanks, Jimmy.
We will. Jimmy here texted me and said we will carry Cowboy games and other games this year, double header NFL games every week.
Ooh.
So Jim, again, how do you feel about
that?
carrying the Cowboys?
I'm fine carrying it. I think you missed the point. The point was, I don't hear promos going, "We're your Cowboys station." That's the point. We know you hate the NFL, St. Louis, so now we're going to carry the most hated team. No, there are fans. As I said, I get it. Listening to games, it's good to offer it. I'm just saying I don't think that should be part of a station's branding.
Get him, Nate. Totally agree on the Flaherty take. Sharon.
Sharon.
Santa says, I think he just didn't want to ride the bus anymore. That could be true. You know, those buses are a pain in the ass. Big Perm. Has anybody ever thought that Cam looked just like a jacked up Seth Rogen? Big Perm. When I went to Vancouver when I was playing and I had like longer curly hair, I had people coming up to me asking me if I was Seth Rogen. And I told them to go F themselves.
Why?
Because he sucks. And I don't like him. And he's fat. And he's not athletic. And I thought,
Something to do with
Seth
the name?
Rogen? Not Joe Rogan.
Seth Rogen.
Seth Rogen. Seth goofy-ass Rogen. Yeah,
You got Katherine Heigl in the movie.
I don't care. Don't care.
There was
No.
the whole Entourage episode about that.
Yeah, but he's like the most non-athletic guy in the world, and then they call, and I'm like, I look like Seth Rogen.
I'm gonna.
He loves pot. He loves pot.
Yeah, I do too. But
I'm gonna
still,
repackage my my monologue. Hey, Cam.
Hey, what's up?
You're a smart guy.
Thanks. Well,
I think in a lot of ways you're wise beyond your years. But sometimes a comedian will have a different view, and they're still funny. They just look at things different. Can't you look past that and say,
No.
Seth Rogen wants to achieve laughs?
I don't care what he does. I just don't want to be. I don't want to look like that dude. I've seen him in the movies. He doesn't run fast. He doesn't jump high. He's not stick handling. He's not beating up guys. He's just a stoner. And I thought that was degrading a little bit. That's all. That's all. It didn't bother me that much. At least
Degrading. People say I look like Estelle Getty.
Who?
Estelle Getty.
Estelle Getty.
The Golden
One of the
Girls.
Golden Girls.
Oh, God. Jackie. Nate, just like with Alex Jones and Sandy Hook, with Flaherty, you have to be able to separate the art form from the artist. Jackie parlays.
Yeah, very similar.
Very similar. Ryan Helsley says, hold my beer in terms of the best stuff on the staff. I agree with Nate. Jack looks uninterested on the mound. One good half season does not make a great pitcher.
First of all, we're talking about starters. Second of all, Jack Flaherty, people forget, last year he was really, really good for half the season. He was really good in 2018. 2019 is when he was unbelievable. People act like he's only had one half of a season. He's made 93 big league starts. That's essentially 3 full seasons worth of starts. And his ERA is 3.38 over the course of that time. And he has 573 strikeouts in 495 in the third innings. So does he need to be healthier? 100%. But to act like this guy hasn't been good is just ridiculous.
And if you watch his overlays, like those videos where it's the same arm angle, same arm speed, everything, it's all released at the same point, and the ball just goes any direction.
Except when his shoulder's a problem, because I looked at the overlays from some of his more recent work, and it's not the same. So hopefully he's healthy now. And I'm a guy who voted for Jill Shoup, and that's why I'm supporting Charlie on his baseball takes.
Cam, they mean his face when they say you look like someone. Has nothing to do with athleticism. Regardless of that person is blind, you look nothing like him. Sharon. Yeah, I don't look like him anymore because I have a bald spot, and he has thick hair. I think we do have facial features that look alike. And then I watch him on these goofy-ass movies. I'm like, oh, can't they look like Tom Hardy or something?
Old school Cam, though, with the curls.
Yeah, I did look like him.
I can kind of see it.
I know. People would chirp me left and right about it.
But those curls back in the day, kind of those Justin Timberlake curls, that was popular.
That was popular back in the day.
So here's another thing I thought was really interesting about yesterday's game, because you said you want to go Cardinal. So
Here we go, yeah.
So Waino didn't have it, right?
Yeah.
4 innings, 6 earned runs, gave up 74 hits, 8 hits, something like that. And he's over 100. He's still in there. Now, they need innings, right? But can you imagine, like, a guy, any other pitcher who is a brand-name starter, who's had a close to Hall of Fame type career, getting knocked around by the Yankees in 100-degree heat, and he's at 90 pitches, and you know he's going nowhere. He's just treading water, and he goes back out there. Like, first of all, if that's not Waino, no one else is going to. He did it for the team.
That's right.
Secondly, he thought, let me see if I can find it, and then maybe give him 5 or 6 and really help him. I thought that was cool. I mean, he's over 100 pitches in a game that at the point seemed out of hand, but he was trying to save the bullpen and help his team. That was really impressive to me for Waino. And again, it's like 100 degrees out there.
It's going to rock his stats.
That's precisely what I'm talking about when I go back to Jack. I mean, when Jack is out there and he's struggling, he's all mopey.
I know.
It seems like it's all about him. Waino picked the team up yesterday, and he stays out there and gave you everything he had. And I think that if Jack truly wants to grow as a starter in terms of like being a leader, then he needs to take a page out of that book.
He is mopey poo.
No, but there you go. Like that, he needs to. He's got to stay healthy, and I want to see his mound presence improve.
Yeah.
Then we agree. But that has nothing to do with his political views.
I'm just, you know.
But every time you mention Flaherty, you're like,
Throwing
well,
red.
you weren't distracted, by his activism. He
Well,
wasn't. His shoulder
Sometimes you have
hurt.
to put red meat in the lion's den a little bit.
And also, we all love Waino, but he's paid $18, $19 million a year. He gave up 8 hits and 4 walks. He didn't pitch well. I mean, going out there in the heat and throwing 100 pitches, that's kind of your
111.
job.
No, but do you, another guy, another Waino type is going to be out there? No, they're not. They're not. And he did it, and because he didn't have it.
Got no
that's
calls
another
either.
thing. When a pitcher
know.
knows he doesn't have it, they don't want to go back out there. He's like, let me give it a shot. I give him kudos for that. Charlie the Progressive wants to tear him down because of his political views.
Because of Wainos?
It's just jokes.
Here's the other thing with Waino. Waino is going to be 41 years old, and because he's a bulldog, they don't look at his pitch count in the same way, shape, or form as they do anybody else. And that's been the case the last 3 years. Look at COVID. They basically said, Waino, we've been in a hotel for a week. We haven't played in 17 days. Go out there. You're 38, 39 years old.
Yep.
Every single other pitcher on the staff, we're going to manage your innings. We're going to manage your pitch count. They have never looked at that. And that's a tribute to Waino right there, because pitch counts don't really matter with him. Like, if Adam Wainwright threw 125 pitches an outing, I'm not so sure that would really bother him that much.
Yeah.
Because he manages his energy. He throws 89, 90 miles an hour. He's a pitcher. He's efficient. He's old enough to that he knows how to manage his warm-ups, and in terms of how many pitches you throw in the bullpen to get ready, like, he's a pro.
Well, let's hear from him.
It's Jimmy asked him a great question.
Hey, that's our Jimmy.
There you go.
That's our Jimmy.
Oh, wow. And
No,
I
it was Derek
got
Gould that
off
asked.
Wow. Hang on a second.
Jimmy doesn't ask questions in
There
there.
you go.
Well, I mean, I did not have great stuff today. And we were working with about a 300 degree day out there, it seemed like. But, it just was a tough day. It was a grinding day. It was one of those days where when guys put it in play, they found holes. They just did that all day long. And the ones that got in with the ball in play that didn't ever go towards anybody, for both sides. So a lot of holes out there from both sides today, and luckily we hit more holes than they did.
Isn't he just like the best?
He is good, man. He's
and
cool.
and we'll credit the super secret new great intern that got the sound. That was Solomon.
What am I doing?
It was Solomon.
God, that's why I don't gamble. That's why I don't gamble. I would have bet you money on that and would have completely lost on it, and then
You know what else we need
guess
to
I
do,
don't
though,
gamble,
too,
dude.
for Solly? Let's get him a better mic flag. That thing is beat up.
it's beat up.
Right? Doesn't look good.
Yeah,
You've
we
seen
need to
that.
shine it up a little bit. But he's there.
So if Jimmy, if you're listening, can we get Solly a new mic flag?
He's got it there, though, dude. It's flying in the wind, dude.
Does it look bad?
It doesn't look bad.
I haven't noticed that.
Solly needs to take better care of some things.
We're not
Look at-
credit. How do you know what he did?
I've worked with Solomon for 15 years. I see how he puts things away. This guy just throws things into his bag. It's juggling. Look at all his properties.
He's our teammate.
Yes. I love Solomon to death, but he needs to treat the equipment a little better.
What is he supposed to,
Wow.
like, wrap it in velvet?
Well, you could be a little bit more delicate with it.
All right.
Jack Poopy Pants Flaherty, Sharon. Oh. Remember Sharon? Back when I was 12 years old, that story I told? Let's not go down that road again. Oh, God, I'm still trying to get over it. Speaking of Waino, did you guys notice in-game yesterday, the entire Yankee lineup was allowing fastballs to go by, and they were sitting on breaking balls to Yono Fallon? Yes, I did notice that. No, I didn't, but did you guys? What the hell is he talking about?
Well, that's what happens with Waino, is that, and if he doesn't have all his stuff, he needs 2 or 3 of his pitches, and he can throw different curveballs and everything. But the key for Waino, and he'll tell you this, is that if he can spot an 89, 90 mile an hour fastball, he can keep people off his breaking stuff. And when he doesn't have it, they're gonna sit on curveballs.
Waino also, he doesn't usually miss in the middle of the plate. I mean, he has command that even if he's throwing his 89, 90, he's usually picking corners. So he doesn't usually miss fastballs where he's really going to get damage done. And look, that curveball, the reason he's still so good is his curveball is so nasty that it fools everyone, including the umpires. Honestly. And those balls, when you're watching on TV, they don't look like they're going to be strikes. Even against Aaron Judge, who's 6'7". That's how much drop that man has on his 12-6 curveball, which literally falls off the table.
The one on Judge, though, that really sparked a lot of angst was that one that was middle of the plate.
That's what I'm saying.
I mean, first of all, it's not like Eddie Goodell, okay? It's Judge, who is 6'8" or whatever. I walk next to him. That guy is as big as any human I've ever seen. So he's got a big strike zone. And that pitch was in the middle of the strike zone. And it's a big strike zone because it's a big dude.
Yeah.
To be fair, though, he wasn't getting any calls, though, in that at-bat.
Yeah.
Judge probably should have struck out.
Well, he
on that
fooled him.
at-bat.
Waino fooled him one time with a curveball that was a little high, and Judge kind of like seeped down. He thought he was going to get hit in the head, and it was a strike. Like it.
Well, Donaldson did that.
Oh, was that Donaldson?
On one of the plays,
Okay.
Donaldson basically just scrunched down and made the pitch look a lot worse than what it was. Judge just stood there. And the man's 7 feet tall.
So, and do you know what? Here's the thing that I like about Judge. Because, I mean, I'll watch highlights now. I don't get a chance to watch him that much. He is so still and quiet at the plate. He is like a statue. Like a lot of guys are gyrating and moving. He knows he doesn't have to do anything to generate power. I like his approach. Although I will say this. The night before when Gio was in, Gio threw 3 fat ones to him. Like, Gio's a good pitcher, but every once in a while, one gets away. To me, anyway, watching from home, there were 3 pitches that were big fat ones. Judge fouled off 2 and then popped out, I think, to end the game. But it looked like there were 3 pitches he could have worked with.
Waino is a pitcher, not a thrower. At this stage in his career, he's locating, changing pace and mechanics. His curve to Donaldson completely fooled even the ump. Very impressive. 314. Make a name for yourself, homeboy.
And that's the thing. If you throw, all due respect, Waino knows this. If you throw 89, 90, you can't do the same things that Ryan Helsley does. Ryan Helsley can get away with throwing 103 miles an hour down the middle many times. Now, every once in a while, DJ LeMahieu or somebody will run into it, whoever it was earlier in the year, obviously El Garcia. But if you throw 102, 103, you can get away with that.
Yeah, you get thrown down the pipe.
You can't get away with an 89 mile an hour fastball in the big leagues, middle.
Right, but unless, of course, you have them so tied up with your breaking stuff that they're sitting curve, and the last thing they're expecting is a fastball. We saw that a couple of times, too.
I love it when Nate's Banty. Your crew is delightful. Is it true that DeYoung filed a restraining order against Jeff Albert? I've been hearing that from multiple sources. Mitchie boy.